Scryxl was, again, at a podium, looking over the massive room filled with species from around the galaxy. In his hands, he held a simple glass panel framed by two metal bars, one at the top and one at the bottom. As he pressed a few illuminated words, the chambers went dark, and the large hologram projector sprang to life, showing a rotating planet once more. Many recognized it, but noted that the effects of the invading Reavers from the Andromeda galaxy scarred the surface. It is with mixed emotions that I and all of the High Council call this meeting of species once more on behalf of the humans. We have news, and it is strange how to present it. Scryxl spoke as his antennae twitched. What happened? Were they culled? A red-furred bovine with red and white mushrooms on its back called out in worry. Fear not, the humans have surprisingly won the skirmish against the invaders. The Haloon can rest assured that humans have survived the conflict. Scryxl reassured, showing recent images and videos of the devastation and humans rebuilding entire cities, even joking and having fun like before they were invaded. The humans survived. Did they surrender? Were they made vassals? Subjugated? The owl-like Oilinx woman spoke in worry. The humans have actually won the battle. They wiped out and eradicated the invading force. You see, it was a strange circumstance, as the invading species used massive insects as an invasion force to try and clear away all life on the planet. It took 5 minutes, 5 whole minutes for the surprise attack to wipe out half of all human life. After the surprise was gone, it turns out humanity has a penchant for mass slaughter, Scryxl explained, showing captured footage of giant ants, spiders, robotic drones, and massive wasps. All were being obliterated by humanity using their firearms. Entire hives were eliminated by missiles fired from miles out at sea, and acidic web-shooting spiders were hit with pellet-throwing tubes with such force that the bodies ragdolled away as if hit by a vengeful god. The human weapons were surprisingly effective at devastating the enemy ground troops. It turns out that the country that had the most success in defending itself is also the one with the most insane people ever. The tools of warfare they had at their disposal were like nothing we have ever seen before. Their weaponry, simply put, are kinetic force multipliers. They take a solid lead cap, place it on top of a brass casing filled with a potent accelerant that ignites when met with a primer chemical. It's housed in a specialized chamber with striations etched into it for accuracy. They essentially throw small, hard rocks with explosions propelling the rocks faster than sound, Scryxl continued, showing a soldier in full gear aiming a shotgun at a leaping spider and blasting it to pieces. The stopping power launched the corpse into other bugs, knocking them off balance. They found a way to weaponize kinetic energy instead of working on energy-based technology. They really are insane. I like 'em, a Dix-Clixian chancellor spoke up. The large, shark-like alien race had mastered energy earlier than most other races. Yes, not only that, but humans have war down to a scary art form. Just watch as one of the human ships, which they have named the A-10 Warthog, fires its gun. It's breathtaking, Scryxl said as a video played of what looked like a flying machine designed by a drug addict firing its massive gun. The volley lasted barely 7 seconds. The area they fired at had held at least 200 large, red, acid-spitting ants, all of which were now mincemeat, and the plane circled around for another volley. Those in attendance were shocked at how easy it was to kill the bugs. That weapon fires ammunition the size of a 16 ounces liquid container at 75 rounds per second. The gun in that craft is so powerful that if they fire it for more than 10 seconds, the plane falls out of the sky due to lack of lift. That is just one of hundreds of different aerial craft they have at their disposal. They also have ground superiority, Scryxl said, bringing up many different armored vehicles with massive weapons mounted on top of them. They even brought a few old vehicles out of retirement. Galactic Council, I present to you the EM-150, known to humans as the Thing. This monstrosity has 6 mounted munitions throwers that humans call a recoilless rifle. It essentially shoots out bombs at people and is mostly used against other armored vehicles, but if no vehicles are around, well, buildings and other ground troops work. Now I know you all are asking, how is this thing accurate? They line the recoilless rifles by strapping a .50 caliber rifle to each of the 6 recoilless rifles. They aim this beast for a shot with its giant guns by using slightly smaller giant guns and visible rounds called tracers, which can also just be used as regular giant guns. Oh, they also have a machine gun on top of all that to provide cover fire for those who reload the 6 recoilless rifles. But honestly, they never needed it. After all, if something is hit with this... Scryxl showed the thing blast all 6 of its recoilless rifles at once, nailing an enemy craft and blowing it completely out of the sky, essentially turning it into scrap metal, then showing it being carted off in pieces to be studied. I doubt they're going to get back up without at least a headache and a new outlook on not messing with humanity. We of the High Council are borrowing this term from the humans in their video game languages, but the invaders were not familiar with the final boss of Earth, also known as the United States of America. They are well over 50 years ahead of every other country technologically and militarily. It's honestly astounding, as they have something called discretionary spending, in which it does not matter how much money they spend or take. They continue to buy, manufacture, and produce weapons of war and munitions of war at a rate that puts the rest of their world to shame. They spend more money on their military than the entire Sartusian Trade Federation does in all aspects. Accounting for viable exchange rates with our universal credit, they spend the equivalent of 877 billion credits on its defenses, Scryxl said as he showed different hypersonic planes dropping bombs, shooting guns, and just demolishing encampments of the bugs. The aerial ships were also no match for one particular aircraft that seemed to be able to sneak up on the unsuspecting crafts and blow them out of the sky. They have naval ships that provide artillery support to ground troops, ships with enough firepower to change the very topography of the Earth itself, Scryxl said, showing a full hunter-killer group of dreadnoughts, aircraft carriers, and even battleships, all of which were loaded to the brim with guns and munitions, showing one battleship in particular that was unloading every last munition it had on a bug-infested island, which after its entire volley in 2 hours showed the island no longer exists. Their planet spent millennia rubbing 2 tectonic plates together to make that island, and the invaders pissed off America, so they, in the soldiers' own words, freedom baptized the whole thing. Another quote from surviving news broadcasters of Earth stated that to keep land from the enemy, America decided to just waterboard the entire landmass. No one thought that was even an option, not the bugs on the island and certainly not us stateside. Humans, when at war, are terrifying. Even without matched technology, that gap wasn't there long, Scryxl said, showing once again many downed drones, ships, and weaponry from said ships being carted off. In the 4 celestial cycles we have prepared for war against the Reavers, humanity as a whole came together, shared resources and brainpower, and reverse-engineered the Reavers' technology. Everything from energy and plasma-based weaponry to the very alloy they use on ships to make them so damage-resistant to energy-based attacks. The Reavers had sent unmanned drones with teleportation technology which acted as doorways from their main homeworld to Earth. It's how they can drop so many fodder without worry of number drop-off from long-distance travel. Even the alien species themselves were no match for the weapons of humans. Scryxl showed giant purple and green frog and toad-like aliens using plasma-based energy to attack. The toads and frogs were able to regrow lost limbs if given enough time and rest. However, that was rarely an option as humanity was relentless in its fervor of retaliation and just kept assaulting the enemies, blasting them to pieces, soaking the earth in purple blood. The Reavers were expecting a species with weapons to match its defenses, but since humans instead focused on kinetic weaponry, all their advanced heat-dissipating armor and platings were useless. They did nothing to stop what are essentially micrometeors slamming against them at the speed of sound. My word, the humans were lucky, spoke a robotic voice of synthetic-based alien beings. The Zarlixni species observed the humans even more closely. All the gathered info is being displayed and accessed by all the different species of the galaxy with excitement. Not only lucky, but the Reavers were also desperate. The whole 4 celestial cycles the conflict lasted, humans pushed the Reavers back a total of 6 times. Now it may confuse you as you amended battle data. Well, as it turns out, the Reavers had quartz-based technology, and you know what that means? Scryxl asked the chamber. Dead panicked silence was the answer he received. Are you telling us that the Reavers had access to what is theorized to be time-travel-based technology? The Oilink's chancellor asked, her voice barely a whisper. Yes, the humans, upon the first victory against the Reavers' forces, reverse-engineered the weapons and alloys. The second, they were able to better defend against the invaders and bring whole ships and automated drones, recreating them as well. The last 3 skirmishes saw that Earth not only pushed them back, but nearly wiped them all out. In an effort to not lose to humanity, the Reaver species as a whole used the quartz-based technology due to the mineral's strange connection with time, and were able to send even more advanced tech to previously lost battles as a means to try and beat humanity and keep them from gaining advanced technology so future battles would be easier, and humanity could be wiped out. The plan backfired and led to humans gaining even more advanced tech after eventually beating that stratagem too, and using the even more advanced technology in earlier battles to guarantee their own victory. Humanity beat a time-traveling enemy, and used that technology to nullify any advantage it could have brought the Reavers. The original battles, as you can see, had far fewer casualties, but the amended battle data shows higher casualties, but later battles with fewer and fewer losses on humanity's side, Scryxl said as he rubbed his head from the entire migraine the conflicting battle data showed. It took nearly a full celestial cycle to figure out the quartz-based shenanigans the Reavers pulled. So how long until the Reaver species tries invading other portions of the galaxy? We have to be prepared since they can't take the humans. They'll want to take some of us out to use as forward bases before attacking humanity again, the Dixiclixian Chancellor asked as she stood up, slamming her hands down on her desk. That won't be needed. Humanity already ended the threat permanently. They were able to reverse-engineer everything the Reavers had besides the quartz-based tech, and that includes the teleportation they had. Hijacking 6 massive motherships that in a last-ditch assault to kill all of humanity by landing on the planet's surface as fortresses, humanity was able to pinpoint the planet they were attacking from. Humanity harnessed the atom for weaponry in its early years and not for the energy potential it had. When hijacking the Reaver teleporter signal, they reversed the polarity signals and scrambled them, so anything sent through humanity's own teleporters would land on the Reaver homeworld, Scryxl said as he showed scientists happily waving at giant technological arches crackling with energy and glowing deep blue. Humanity used atomic weaponry to end their enemy once and for all. Once again, to borrow from human speech patterns, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, humanity as a whole harnessed the power of the Reavers' teleportation technology, hijacked the signals, and used the very same teleporter technology to bitch-slap the entire Reaver homeworld with the fucking sun. They erased the Reavers from existence, much in the same way the Reavers tried ending the existence of humanity. Once again, I say to you all, humanity is just built differently, Scryxl said as he began walking away to the elevator to meet with the rest of the High Council before stopping in his stride and turning around to face the other species. By the way, if you forgot what this means, humanity knows alien life exists now and has technology on par with Reavers to defend themselves if need be. The High Council advises you to seek friendly relations with these people, as you all have seen exactly how humanity deals with enemies. They will no doubt make first contact in the next few stellar cycles at the latest. Be prepared because ready or not, humanity is now amongst the stars, Scryxl said as his elevator arrived and sent him up to a higher chamber so that he may discuss with the other High Council members on how to proceed with humanity's eventual addition.